about your voice?
That's what everyone keeps telling me. But for real, I'm ready to like get deep.
Growing up, I was a lot heavier. It's something that I'm constantly insecure about.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are talking to you guys about Love is Blind. Yes, we're giving you a whole live, hopefully each night for the next 5 days. We're going to give you lives around Love is Blind. Okay, so if you are new to this channel, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, and click on that bell button. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what the motto is. You got the minerals. You understand? You got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Listen, let's talk a little bit about Love is Blind. Okay, season 2, episode 1. Okay, season 2, episode 1. There was a lot that took place. I'm going to break down stuff. Unfortunately, I will not have clips for this show. I don't have any today. So, but when I do like individual breakdowns, if there's specific things I want to address, I'll give clips on that particular part. So let's just start from the very, very beginning. Let's start with the very first connection that we saw. We got to see Ayanna and Jarrett. And I'm going to put some pictures up so that you guys can actually see that as well, because I know it's going to be very difficult to kind of remember who they were. And it can be very difficult as well to follow the storylines when you don't remember whose face is who. So let me get a couple of photos up in here of all these people so you guys can start to see who they are. But I hope you guys are good. Comment down below as well. Comment in the comment section on the chat. Add your 2 penny pence. This is only episode 1, guys. We're only doing episode 1. Tomorrow we do episode 2. We're not going to do episode 2, so don't do any spoilers in here. Don't do any spoilers in here, okay? Don't do any spoilers in here, okay? We just about getting it, okay? Okay, we're just about getting it. All right, cool. So I want to start, like I said, I want to start off with, I think it was Jarrett. Was it Jarrett? No, it was Ayanna. I wanted to put Ayanna because I liked Ayanna. She was cool. I liked her energy. Let me bring up a photo of who Ayanna was so you guys can follow what we're seeing. So Ayanna was this young lady here, Ayanna. And we first got to see Ayanna, and we also got to see Jarrett as well. So I'll take it off there. We also got to see Jarrett as well, this young gentleman round here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about their connection really quickly, because you know, they do you know what it is? My first impression of Ayanna on the show, okay, was, you know, she was saying obviously how she's single, and, you know, the fact that, you know, it's hard to date out there, and, you know, she wants to be married, you know what I mean? She wants to be taken back. My first thing was, Ayanna's a very pretty lady, very pretty. But do you know what? Do you know what I wasn't getting? Do you know what I wasn't getting? I wasn't getting somebody who's there's a level of assertiveness I wasn't getting. I mean, let me not say assertive. Like, when I see her on the screen, I wanna feel moved, because she's so pretty, right? She's so pretty, but I want to see her moved. I want to see her move me. This is what I'm saying about. And someone's gonna probably say, look, everyone, you can't be for everybody, and I absolutely agree. You can't be for everyone, right? But it's the very first episode I've watched her. When I watch Ayanna on my screen, I don't get ooh, even though she looks ooh, and that makes me realize that some of you guys are ooh, but you need confidence to bring the ooh. You understand, right? You need to be able to bring that to me so that I can go ooh. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that she's bad. I don't know. You guys already comment in the comment section, but from what I've seen already, just a short snippet, I'm not getting a pull. You know, and she got the short hair, you know, she's got the you know, the little body as well. Like, listen, and she was complaining about not having a little bit of breast and bum. Listen, she don't even need that. She's a pretty gal. You understand? She's a pretty woman. So you don't need the breast and the bum per se, darling. You need to be using what you have. You know what I'm saying? Let me just put the photo up again. Look. Pretty woman, you know, small as well, petite. Listen, she just needs to carry BDE energy. I already know what it is, so I'm going to take that word. Just needs to carry some energy that, you know, it's me, I'm here again, and listen, no one can tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when you have that energy behind you, it carries. It really does carry, you know what I'm saying? So she just needs to get confident, you know what I'm saying, and smell her own doo-doo a little bit. You know, my mom would say, you know, you're smelling yourself. Smell your own, you know what I'm saying? Like, smell yourself a little bit. You know, you are something. You are fine, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, you know what I mean? So you know, it was that, and you know, we did get to find out a little bit more about her. And remember, that was my first impression. I had never heard any story about her until she began to talk to Jarrett about what she had experienced. I didn't know anything about her. So when Ayanna explained her family background, it all makes sense, right? And this is why I'm telling you guys, okay, and ladies out there, okay, thank you to sit on the bench and heal, because what's happening is that your energy that you're bringing to the screen, I'm seeing you, it's not carrying, right? It's not carrying, okay? And so she told us that obviously, you know, she was raised by her mom till I think 6 or 9. You know, she was raised till 6 or 9, and then I think she was given to her cousin to look after her. And then her mom wasn't in the best place to kind of really take care of her. And you know, she basically, you know, she was rejected by her main parent, and this in itself, when someone is rejected at such a young age from their parental figure, it can do a lot of damage. It can do a lot of confidence damage to an individual, because you're asking questions: why me? Why don't you want me? You know, why is my mom not in the best place? It can actually breed as well hyper independence. It can breed also what we call what is the thing? Oh, it's gone up my head. But people who grow up too quickly, basically, and then they end up trying to be fixers. I can't remember what the actual term is. I apologize, guys. And they end up being fixers, right? And what happens is they actually end up finding people that they can fix. People that are drug addicts, people that are drunkards, people that are abusers. They try to fix them, right? And so I was looking at it and I was like, "Babe, you telling us a story?" I was like, "Yo, babe." I was like, "This is a deep thing, you know. This is a deep thing." I said, "Oh, I hope she's healed." But because I'm seeing it on the screen, I'm like, I'm not getting the healed version of you. And I'm not saying that you can't be introvert. You can be introvert. There are different types of people. People are introverted, some people are extroverted. You know, we talk about temperaments, being sanguine, being choleric, being phlegmatic, and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, being your best self, I wasn't sure if that was what she was bringing to my screen. And that is why I'm saying that leaves you open, right? I hear you, J Love. I'm hearing you. It does feel like a lot of TV actors. Trish is one of them. You know, and so for me, it's again, you know, I hope she's done the healing work. I'm not going to presume, but just from what I saw on my screen, I was like, I don't know if old girl is really healed. You know, I don't know if she's healed. Like, I'm not seeing that energy come through the screen of being healed. And again, when you're vulnerable, and here's something that someone was telling me about, we were talking about. When I saw, when we discussed a situation quite recently, someone said to me, "You sound like you've healed from the situation because of the way you're describing it." And I said, "Yeah. Because I've healed from it. Like, there's no need to bash somebody. There's no need to break somebody down. There's nobody to cuss anybody. There's no need to make someone look out the villain. No. Let's review it, and I'll give you all sides. I did my part. They did their part. When you're healed from situations, the way you describe certain events, you know, you speak from a place of strength, a place of understanding, empathy. You speak from a place of going, do you know what? I know it's affecting me, and here's how it's affecting me, but I've grown from that. Do you know what I mean? And it's short and it's edited. I didn't really get that from Ayanna, and that leaves her vulnerable. That's my problem here. That leaves her very vulnerable. Very, very vulnerable. And I don't want to see old girl get hurt. Okay, I don't want to see old girl get hurt by that. Now, remember, this is episode 1, so I don't know half the things that some of you might be seeing. I won't be seeing them because we're only episode 1. I mean, we had Jarrett. It was very, very short. Jarrett was another one that was very short. We didn't get to see much of Jarrett. And I, you know, I mean, to be honest, I didn't see much of Jarrett, so I don't know much about him on this episode. So I'm not going to talk about him too tough. Okay, so I'm gonna leave him aside actually, because there wasn't much that was described from his side. He said he wanted to give her a hug and everything like that, and da 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 da. Now he did click with Mallory. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. When he clicked with Mallory, I ain't gonna lie to you. I said to myself, when Jarrett clicked with Mallory, I said to myself, did he hear the caucasity? I'm just saying, remember guys, it's only episode 1. Please don't leave any spoilers in the chat. Far as I can see, as soon as he spoke to Mallory, I said, I know you can hear the caucasity. I know you can hear the caucasity. But I said, let me not judge, because that's not how we play in this game. I know I shouldn't be doing that. Do you know what I mean? I don't create divide before we do it started. But I was like, yo, the caucasity. The caucasity, I'm sure you can hear Mallory's caucasity. So for me personally, I was like, I don't know. But they bonded on sports. They bonded on the fact that I think she liked football, whatever, and so they seem to kind of click on that regard. And then she did something really interesting. Mallory did something really interesting, right? Someone said Mallory's not all white. Fair enough. Fair enough. She person. But then Mallory did something really, really interesting, which I said, people, she's interesting, right? She did something. People, when you get nicknamed by someone, right, it can be an endearment thing, and I don't think it was anything odd here, by the way, but when people nickname you, they've started the ownership. Listen, be very careful, when they start nicknaming you, because it can be very cute, but it can make you feel some type of way, as in you might start feeling, oh, this person really, really likes me. Listen, some people are playing this game very, very well. They know how to play the game. They'll start nicknaming you, making you feel comfortable, making you feel nice, making you feel sweet, when really and truly, they ain't fully even there. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Mallory is racially ambiguous. And he heard the caucasity in there saying. So, just that, I was like, oh, okay. She just put that nickname in there, and I said, she's marking her, she's already marking him. And if he doesn't, he was like, what, J-Bear. I said, okay, so I was like, all right, listen, I'm not saying he should have rejected it or anything. I'm just saying that I hope he's careful enough to not let this woman play him. We're only in episode 1. I don't know. I didn't get the fact that she was really liking him. I didn't get the fact that she was really, really liking him. She threw some shit in the mix. Jarbear. She gave him Jarbear, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. But what I did pick up from Jarrett was, number one, okay, from Jarrett, I want to go back, sorry, I just remember something. Jarrett's voice, the way he spoke, it sounded like he was on radio. Anyone else pick that up? When I heard Jarrett speak, I felt like he was on radio. The way he would speak and the way he would talk, I was like, brother, is this guy on radio? The way he, does his voice and everything like that is very radio-esque. Which in a game like this, or in an experiment like this, works a treat. You got a very radio-esque voice. This is KG's territory. KG from Ready to Love needs to be in this show. We need KG in the show, because his voice is gonna carry. You know what I mean? You got a sexy voice here. You done out here. Him and was it Salvador or Vito? Whoever does opera singing, that man got them voices out here, cuz, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Another thing I noticed, also very, very quick about Ayanna. I said also, I love her little cute awkward laugh. She made sure, there's certain terms that we use. In certain terms that we use, as black people, which I said you would know if someone's black or not. When she said, you play too much. And I was like, yeah, when you play too much, it's a little bit like, that. I said, when she said that, I said, okay. She's saying that. I said, he should pick up on that. He should know where she's from. Okay. All right. I'm not saying too much about that. I need to stop that. I'm going to get in trouble. And then at the end of their conversation, I forgot to say also, she said he said, look, we'll talk again. She said, we definitely will. and I knew that Ayanna was in deep. She said, "Oh, we definitely will." I said, "Bebe, I need you just to wind it down a little bit. Wind your neck down, okay? Listen, don't give him too much. Listen, I am not saying." I mean, I didn't want to say it, but you said it, girl. I'm not saying that you have to play too coy, but just play a little bit coy, babe. Don't let us know too much, because remember, they're dating. You know they're dating other people. It's a TV show. You just need to calm it a little bit down. Bebe was at the end of it was like, "We definitely gonna talk." I said, "Bebe, I need you to chill. Just say, yeah, we'll talk. You know, be a little bit coy. We'll talk. Let him sweat a little bit and go about your business, and then come back. You understand? Yeah, just go about your business and come back." It's not like Angela Cortez. Yeah, she was giving him way too much energy, and she made it obvious that she's gonna like him, and he's gonna listen. I don't need to see you to pick up on those things. Your tone, the words you use, we can pick up on anything. Remember, how we communicate. Most of it is through non-verbal communication. So just your tone alone will tell a lot of people what you're about, and what you say will say a lot as well. So. You know, just a little something, you know. Yeah. It's a mad thing. All right, cool. Let's talk about another potential people that were involved on the show. After them, we got to see Mallory and Salvador. I think I've got his picture up on here. Let me make sure I got it. So Mallory and Salvador, which I believe is Vito, isn't it? Not Salvador, but it's Vito. Let me see if I can get his picture. Where is do I have his picture? Oh, I don't think I have his picture, guys. Sorry. Oh, there. Is this Vito? No, that's Vito. That's not Salvador. That's not Salvador, is it? Is that Salvador? Wait, is that Salvador? No, that's not. Who's this goon? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? I don't know who the heck he is. Who the heck is that? Is that Salvador? No, that's not Salvador. I got Salvador here. Sorry, guys. That's not. I don't even know who that guy is. Was he even in the show? I don't even know who that guy is. He's not even in the show, guys. Let me get Salvador. I've just got his photo here, so I'm gonna add it. So Salvador, he was bringing some spice. Salvador, you know, he was giving some. Salvador was given what we need to be gave. You know what I'm saying? Salvador came in there, with a little bit of suave. Said you asked her, he speaks a bit of Spanish or whatever, and they both started speaking a little bit of Spanish to each other. He seemed to get on with them. You know what I'm saying? I like the two of them. I think though, personally, I think he's a little bit soft. Okay, and I don't think that's going to work for Mallory. He's a little bit soft, and here's why I'm saying he's a little bit soft. Right? He said, number one, well, first and foremost, he said he gets judged for being machismo, but he's not machismo. Fair enough. But then he said to her, "I like crying, and tears are strength." Now, let me be very frank with you guys. Okay, let me be frank with you guys. All right, let me be frank with you. Okay, all right, Salvador. Let me be frank with you. Let me put him up again. Salvador, you can't tell a woman, from the jump, okay, because you don't know how she's gonna react straight away by telling her we gonna cry and I like it, okay? Because it never comes out the way you want it to come out. All right, Salvador, crying and I like it. If you start off the propositional conversation with, I like crying, no matter what you say after that, it's cancelled. Okay, it's going to be very, very difficult for a woman to come back from that. There's a way to talk about tears and crying, because remember as well, unfortunately, the way that our world is wired, a lot of us are wired in a way where if we see crying, we think of weakness. Now, I'm not saying you can't mention it. I'm saying that how you mentioned it, for me, was very weak. It just sounded weak. I'm not gonna lie to you. It just sounded weak. It sounded weak. You come out and say, "Hey, Sean, if you're ready, come on, man. If you're on, come on." I was like, look, I was looking at Salvador, and do you know what it is? I was looking at Salvador, and I was like, listen, Salvador, you seem like a genuine guy. You seem like a real person. You seem like an honest dude. You just need to learn when and where to say certain things. You guys know me. I've said this before, okay? I've said this before. Nothing wrong with men having opportunities to cry and let out true emotions. But there is a time and there is a place for this kind of conversation. When I'm getting to know you, this is not the time to start releasing those informations in the way that he did. You know? But Koja, you talk and look have to match. They do, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you dropping that is, remember, they're and now we don't have now they can't even see you. Now they can't even see you. So now what you say is even more important. Do you see what I'm saying? Now what you say is going to be taken even more seriously because, yeah, listen, you know, you made it sound, thank you, Tress. It made it sound like a crybaby rather than saying, hey, look, I get in touch with my emotions and sometimes I cry. Listen, guys, let me be frank with you. Yeah? Whenever I watch a film, most times, if it's got any little bit of emotion in it, I start tearing up, bro. But if I'm dating you, I'm not about to start telling you that. Okay, there's a time and a place for me to release certain information. But let me be frank with you guys. Listen, when I watch a film, when I watch a TV show, because of the empathetic abilities that I have and the fact I'm always in tune with emotions, as soon as I feel their emotions, I start feeling it. But guess what? I can't be releasing that information to everybody. You know what I'm saying? You have to know that's a safe place to release that information. You know, you have to. I mean, obviously his ex-girlfriend told him that. You know, his ex-girlfriend told him that, look, you know, it's weak for that. And rightly so. Daniela told him, was it Daniela at the time? When Mallory told him, or Daniela told him, I can't remember who had that conversation with him first, said, obviously, it's a sign of toxicness. And absolutely right. You know, it is a sign of toxicness when you say those things. So I totally get it, you know. But I love that they connected on Spanish. They want to have big families. He's the last of 4. She's a middle child. And then he began to sing as he left. You know, that was a nice little touch. A brother added in there, you know, a little dose of madness in the ending. I said, that's well done. Listen, a little bit of that dose of madness, we like it. You see what I'm saying? As he was leaving, you know, amor, good, bro, that's fine. Lovely, good ending. Nothing wrong with that at all, you know. Use that to your advantage. You can sing. Use that to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that at all. Especially as everything is now audio. You need to be ASMRing. You know, you need to be ASMRing in that room. Okay? So, continue. Just leave maybe the crying out a little bit and wait for the right time when you fully trust her and you're fully vulnerable with one another before you go release that information. People release things too early sometimes and not realize that the person that they're talking to isn't quite there yet to receive this vulnerability. Now let's talk a little bit about another couple that was on our screens. Okay, Nick and Danielle. Now, let me just say this about Danielle. First of all, Danielle and Nick, okay? I'm getting the same vibes from Danielle and Nick, okay? I am getting slightly insecure vibes from both parties involved, okay? They have deep insecurity. Now, we all have insecurities. I'm not saying that, you know, people don't have insecurities. I'm just saying I got a lot of insecurities from both of them, right? I just felt like it was... I just felt like it was a lot. And when I watched Nick and Daniela, I think they could be good together, but I can just see them destroying each other due to their insecurities. For instance, if you watch Danielle, yeah, do you know what? Before she said anything, again, remember, body language is so powerful. If you go and watch episode 1, I want you to watch Danielle, okay? When she's talking, especially to Nick, right, her body language is telling. Before we even get into what she said that was problematic, let's deal with her body language, right? And her body language with her hand was underneath her thigh. You know, she had crossed her legs and her hand was underneath her thigh. I think she was kind of even like doubled over a little bit as well. And she looked so small in the corner of her chair. Her whole body language told me, you are insecure. And I'm saying this because as a previous guy who has hunted for women, okay, and played some women, we are looking at your body language first before we even speak to you. If your body language tells us that you're insecure, we're gonna hunt you down differently. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. I don't like that. I don't really like that kind of gal. But there's other men out there that like that type of gal who are going to use and abuse you financially, spiritually, sexually, physically. They're going to just use you, okay, and call it love, if you want to call it that. And I can see that just from her body language. Now, let's just say that I'm even reading the body language wrong and we've gotten a different impression. She's just an introverted person and you know what? She likes to keep herself to herself. Fine. But then, Bebe, when you come out and you start saying, okay, you start saying things like this. Let me just, what she say here? She said, and she was touching her hair and everything else, which was really awkward. Anyway, she told a little story of the little fat girl. She told a little story of being the little fat girl and getting, and being cussed by a boy, right? Now, here's the thing. We've all probably been in situations where we have, probably had a childhood trauma where another child has said something to us or cussed us out or whatever, right? But she said she held on to that moment. And that moment has ruled her because even now she still feels like the little fat girl. Right? And that in itself, okay, is unattractive. Okay? Wearing your insecurity that largely on the outer side means that when people get close to you, when they really get close to you, they're actually going to dislike you. So you'll actually be a self-fulfilling prophecy because she's saying nobody's gonna like. Oh my days! Let me put my banner here because I haven't done it. All right. Let's break this down because this is really important. This is really important for anybody out there who's in a dating field. Okay, we can use Danielle as a case study. Okay, all right. I know some of you don't like that word, case study. We're going to use it as a case study. Okay, all right. So she said first and foremost, she told a story about the little fat girl. Now remember, I told you guys earlier on about Ayanna, and I said when you tell your story, if you've healed from it, you tell it from a place of strength. When you're ruled by it, you tell it from a place of pain. I'm not saying that you won't feel pain, not saying that you won't emote pain, not saying that you won't express pain, but you will say it in a way that you show an area of strength, as in you've healed from at least parts of what you've gone through. We don't get that impression. Okay, or I don't get that impression, sorry, I should say, we shouldn't say we. I don't get that impression from her because the way she told the story about how she was, about how she had experienced this particular thing, right? And so I was like, okay, that's the first mark. All right, cool. Okay, maybe we can get past that. And then she said, everyone in her family is divorced, but she didn't say it like, you know what? Everybody in the family is divorced, but you know what? Me, it's not going to be me. I've made sure I've done this, I've done that. That wasn't what she said. She said, everybody in my family is divorced, and I fear that this will also be my thing. Listen, there is a difference between showing vulnerability and showing absolute fear. Okay, now we can have fear in our vulnerability, but I was thinking about this as I was walking today from the gym. Well, actually, I was cycling, and I was saying, we talk about fear, and I was even thinking about the Bible, how the Bible says, maybe Joshua, be strong, be encouraged, have courage, and courage in itself is an attribute of, in the face of fear, still going forward. And we could talk about courage and we could talk about faith, right? They're almost interchangeable in certain parts. To have faith doesn't mean that I'm not going to necessarily doubt. It just means that when the evidence comes through, I go with it. You know what I mean? Like, as I can still feel some apprehension. Like, I don't really want to go. I don't really want to go right now. But you know what? I'm going to be encouraged and I'm going to move forward. You know what? I'm going to have faith and I'm going to move forward. I'm a bit scared that this might not work out, but I'm going to have faith and I'm going to go forward. It doesn't remove the fear. The fear is not meant to be. The fear is a natural emotional response. Fear is a natural emotional response. You know, we've done all this. Fear is fake. Fear is fake evidence appearing real. No. Fear is real. Fear is real. But what you need to do is assess whether fear in this instance is to preserve me, or fear in this instance is to choke me. This is the difference you have to understand. Like, we have these emotions. Emotions necessarily are not bad on its own. It is the context we give it. And so sometimes, sometimes when we describe talking about fear, we talk about even biblically, but fear not. What it means is don't be paralyzed by the fear. We've not been given spirit of fear, but a spirit of sound mind, power, and love. Right? It doesn't mean that you won't feel fear. What it means is don't be paralyzed by the fear. And so coming back onto what I'm seeing with Danielle, it sounded like she was still paralyzed by the fear. Listen, speak from yes. I fear that I'm not gonna make it, but you know what? Boom, we're gonna go forward. Yeah, let's go forward. Right? We're gonna go forward. We're gonna go forward. We're gonna go forward. Either way, even though we see these things, we keep going forward, right? So that's another thing. Okay, let's go to what she said next. She said at the end, she said that when they had a second date, she said, or I think towards the end of the day, she said, I thought you might forget me. I thought you might forget me. You're already starting in debt, love. You're already starting in debt. Don't start in the debt, okay? Don't start in the debt, okay? Don't start in the debt. All right? Don't start in the debt. So, we focus on what you're seeing right in front of you right now. Focus on what you can see right now. Do you know what I'm saying? And that is what's the most important. And she's already saying, I thought you might forget me. And then she obviously went on to say, she was talking about obviously how he doesn't know if I'm going to be overweight, and etc. etc. And I was like, but babe, he would not know. See, and this is another thing. When she told the story about I was a fat girl, baby, you ended it there. So if he thinks you're fat now, he's going to think you're fat. Because the way you told the story, he's going to think you're still fat. But then obviously he said, I lost 70 pounds. But 70 pounds still, he may be thinking you were even bigger and you've lost 70 pounds, you still could be big. Because you didn't explain the story properly. And it's because, again, you were speaking from a place of insecurity and fear. When you speak from a place of healing, when you speak from a place of courage, when you speak from a place of confidence, bruv, it's a mausoleum. Exactly. Right? So, I was just like, again, and this is a good comment, right? And I totally agree with this comment. As soon as she told that story, he wasn't drawn away, he was drawn to. Now, can I say something? I'm going to say something a bit mad. If you're drawn to someone like Danielle, I have to ask you some serious questions. I have to ask whether you are truly healed or not. I just have to ask that question. I'm not saying that you're not healed. I'm just saying I need to ask the question whether you're fully healed. And if you say you're fully healed yourself, I then have to ask this question. I have to ask whether you got a Superman complex, savior complex, whether you got that thing where you always want to be in a position where you're saving someone. And the reason being is because the information she gave out, as I've started to heal, as I've taken my own journey in healing myself, right? Daniela is, to me, is unattractive. Not because of her looks, because of what she said. It's unattractive because the way you put yourself down, the way you're insecure about things, I am going to have to be doing a lot of work, okay, behind the scenes to encourage you. But not only that, this can quickly lead into a downfall of this relationship with your self-sabotage. And I can be in a position where I'm consistently having to put out fires because you're not okay. Right? Now, there are instances of relationships where a man or a woman can be a better half of that person, and that person will heal and they will end up being a better person, right? and they'll end up being a better person, and they'll grow from that. But the majority of people will not heal, because your healing is not in your relationship with that other brother or sister. Your healing is in the time that you spend actually reviewing how you behave and why you behave that way. That's a work that you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying, good question again. I'm not saying that this is definitely what it is, but what I'm saying is, whenever you hear this kind of thing, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you are fully healed, or I don't think anyone can be really fully healed, but if you're healed to a good degree, right? And you've done the work, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're dealing with somebody who's broken. You don't want to. The fact that he wanted to run even closer to it. Listen, I would want to give Danielle a hug too. I would want to give Danielle, but I don't want to date her. Now, had this been maybe when I'm 22, 23, 24 even, maybe even hit 25, right? It would have been me, and I would have been like, you know what? I just want to take care of her. I want to cover her. I want to protect her. I just want to love her on her, because I'm thinking I am going to solve her issue. No. That's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm going to have to ask Nick the question. Right? That's why I have to ask Nick the question. Good observation, right? So that's what I'm saying to you. Like, be very careful. Ladies, especially if you're hearing a man speak this way about himself. Well, I think ladies are probably even better than men at this rate. It's just, that's not the one that catches you guys out. One that catches you guys out is the arrogant ones that catch you lot out. But these ones here, the one that are doing, they're trashing themselves, throwing themselves down. Usually ladies kind of avoid that kind of one. It's when the men are moving arrogant that you not like them. But if you're having to build somebody up, it's a project. It's not a partnership. It's a project. It's not a partnership. Okay, so just don't fall for that line, guys. You know what I'm saying? They're both empathetic people. They're both like that, and I think it's because they both have insecurities that they really like each other. Now, when they start healing, I don't know what's gonna happen after that. Right? When they start healing, who knows whether they're gonna want to be together or not. You know what I'm saying? So I think that she needs to do some therapy work, do some work on herself. And this is not a bashing of her. It's more of a case, I just don't want to see you get hurt, baby. Okay? I don't want to see you get hurt, baby. All right? I want to hit on my last one, then I'm going to bring Shayne on. I hit my last 2 points on this. Okay? The love triangle between Shayne, Shayne. It's episode 1, by the way, guys. I don't know what happens after, so please, nobody should spoil this for me, because I can't. I'm don't spoil it, okay? All right. I don't know what happens. As far as I'm concerned, Shayne walked out. Okay. Now he probably will come back, but Shayne walked out. As I'm concerned, don't say anything else. All right. Shayna, and Natalie. Okay. The love triangle. Okay. Now I'm gonna say something. All right, about this situation. Right. Shayne started off really, really well. Right? Shayne started off really, really well. He gave good energy. He was talking. He was discussing. He was having conversations. Right? He was having conversations. Beautiful. Then he started saying, "You're my number one." And I wish he watched Ready to Love. He would have learned from them. You don't start telling people you're my number one and then don't follow through. Did you think that when you said she's number one, she ain't going to go back and tell the girls? Right? This is not you buying her tires, okay? This was you saying she's number one. So she's going to go back and tell the girls that she's number one, right? Natalie's thinking that she's won here. I mean, personally, I thought Natalie was getting too excited with Shayne anyway, but here we go. But, he started saying, obviously, I've wrote my name on my book and everything like that. I wrote my name on your book. You're my number one. Da, 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 da. I didn't really have a problem with him saying about when we go to Chicago, because I think that's part of the illusion of kind of getting together. What I would say is that it does kind of, This is why dating's for grown folks. Okay, all right. This is why dating out there. When you get the experience, you learn how to not take things by heart. Okay. When someone says, you know what, me and you, when we start doing this, we're gonna be, we can go to Chicago. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. When you know he's dating other people on the show, you have no excuse. If you weren't on the show and it was a normal thing, I can understand how you may buy into it, right? But if you're on a dating show where you're dating other people, Natalie, I need you to understand this. If you're dating other people on the show, when he says we're going to Chicago, he could be saying that to other women too. You are not his only one he wants. You're not the only one he wants. Yeah. You understand? You have to understand that you might not be the only one. So don't throw yourself in too deep. Besides that, you heard Shaina talking. I'm sure you girls spoke about it. You heard Shaina speaking about her connection with Shayne too a little bit, right? At that point, you should pause the brakes. All right, Shayna's also got a connection with him. Let me not throw myself into this too deep because he may be liking her. All right? Cool. All right? He started off really, really well. Okay? Now, here's where I realized Shayne is dangerous. All right? This is the part where I realized Shayne is very dangerous. I had no problem with him being, and to be honest, what he was doing is what a lot of us men do, right? Not just having our cake and eating it, but when you meet two women that are different, what he really was doing was, one girl's going to give me sex, one girl's going to give me a relationship. See that game that we play? Who would you snog, kiss, or marry? That's what he was doing, right? He was literally saying, Shaina, I would snog and sex, and with Natalie, I don't mind settling down. Because when he spoke about how he interacted with them, he said, you know what? I have a flirtatious, fun, interaction with Shaina, but with Natalie, it seems a bit more serious. I get the emotional connection. We seem to vibe on that ring. It sounded more serious for him on that respect, right? Almost like he's saving her for when he's finished playing the game, right? Once I'm done finish all my games, okay, Natalie's the one I go to, right? A lot of mandem do this, okay? This is real life mandem do this stuff where they're like, this girl out here, I'm going to freaking deek with her. You know what I'm saying? Every single day, every single night. Okay, so, you know what I'm saying? We're going to freak over here, and then we're going to go over there, and then we're gonna date or marry this person here. This is what he was doing. Okay. I don't agree with that, but okay, fair enough. You done that. But where it became dangerous, and I knew that he's not ready for a relationship, okay, all right, is accountability. Okay? Now, here's the thing. You enter the room. You say, Shaina. Right? Shaina, it's you. I was looking forward to seeing you, da-da-da-da. You make a mistake. She goes silent. Shaina! She goes silent. Yeah, I'm going to get to that, Jay, as well. That's a good point. Like, Shaina, what's going on? And he realizes it's not Shaina because she says, it's Natalie. And he realizes he's made a mistake. Oh, shit, I made a mistake. Right? Okay. So at that point, right? Listen, you're not going to die. You haven't cheated on this girl. But you're not even about to lose. You're not really going to lose this girl, but I'm just relax. The next thing to do really, okay, now, okay, is when you're now sliding off the chair to sit on the floor, okay, it's just to apologize. Say, hey, Natalie, sorry, I thought Shayna was coming in. I really thought Shayna was the one that was meant to be coming in. My bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, you have to, listen, this happens all the time in relationships where someone says something stupid. You just have to let them have their moment. Let Natalie have her moment. Let her blow over. Okay? When he said what you're wearing, and Natalie, her heart dropped because she knows that he don't do those jokes with her. Okay? Right? You let that blow over. All right, this when I knew that he's not even a hardcore player. That's when I knew he's not even a hardcore player. That's when at that point I knew this is somebody who probably was ugly when he was young, got good looking when he's got older, and has got insecure vibes up in his older age. Because let me tell you something: those of us guys who are polished off, that don't phase you. That happens. You're gonna spin it to your advantage. You're like, listen, my bad. I was stupid for that. My bad. Come on. She's gonna be cussing you like, I'm gonna let you have it, man. Just you have your moment. You ain't gonna stress about this. But he immediately went into a mood, and as soon as she didn't even really put any pressure on him. It wasn't even that much pressure. Like I wish there was more pressure to make him react the way he did. Small pressure, of silence. A small pressure of silence made this boy turn into a volcano. Yeah, made this boy turn into an absolute volcano. And then now, when she's talking to him, he now wants to now deflect it by saying, he goes, "Oh, do you think I'm a dick now?" This is where I realized, "Oh, do you think I'm a dick now?" And then he's like, waits for a few seconds. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't really say anything. Then he's like, "Well, I mean, if you think I'm a dick, then you know, I don't know. I can't remember exactly what the wording was. Then I think he was saying like it's a bit much or whatever." I was like, well, first of all, she didn't say you were a dick. You volunteered that word. And then now, the moment that Natalie doesn't say anything, you're now trying to flip it onto her by saying, "Well, if you think I'm a dick, then da-da-da." At that moment, I realized he's trying to wrestle control, doesn't know how to wrestle control back. He does not have the skills nor the tool set to do this, so he's going into this phase of manipulation, right? So now, what does he want to do? He wants to exit the conversation. So he quickly goes into what I call it the self-destruct button, right? And really is about blowing up the place, okay, so that you can regain some power here. And the power is you're going to walk away, right? Let me give you an example. And it's really wild, but it's an example. I cheat on you, yeah? And then I say, "You know what? I am no good for you. I'm going to walk away." Right? Now, I know now you probably think to yourself, "Yo, if he cheats, he should walk away." Nah, listen, I cheat on you. And then I say, "Listen, babe, it's over. I'm going to walk away." A lot of times when people do that, it's actually a power move. It's got nothing to do with the fact they felt bad or they feel like they've hurt you. Listen, most time when I say I'm cheating on you and I want to leave straight away, I'm doing a power move. So when he said that, and then he said, "Oh, you know what? This is getting to a point where I don't really want to talk about this anymore, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to leave now." Right? He's like, "I'm going to leave now. I don't think it's going to work anymore for me." And that's when I realized he's pulling a power move. And then he threw his toys out the pram because now he doesn't want to handle the consequence of his actions. He says, "I'm going to leave. I can't handle this. I'm going to leave." Instead of just facing the consequences. Right? So that for me was where I was like, boom. And my final point on this is also, yes, he was asking for a lot of compliments, but there was something else that was happening. And I'm not going to say it was necessarily his fault. It might be more Shayna's fault as well, because when someone's talking and they haven't finished their train of thought or they haven't finished their sentence, Shayna, you tried to interrupt like 4 or 5 times. Why? Because you wanted to agree with him. Like, she had to interrupt him like 4 or 5 times during their conversation. I was like, he was still talking about compliments. Now, I thought the compliment thing, the way again, nothing wrong with saying I like compliments. It's the way he spoke about it. I want to hear compliments because, I don't really hear it. It's nice to hear it from people. People assume that I like it. I was like, this arrogant prick, he knows what he's saying. This isn't, it doesn't even sound humble. It wasn't even a humble brag. The ones where a certain girl, like, I don't get compliments. Like, I don't get compliments. And it sounds humble. This one, he said it, "Listen, I mean, I don't get compliments, and, it's just nice to hear that, someone saying that they like me, blah, blah, blah." I said, get out of here. Get out of here. You're chatting rubbish. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man threw a tantrum and decided to leave. Now, I don't know if he comes back or not. Listen, don't spoil it. I'm sure he probably does come back, but don't spoil it, okay? We're discussing episode 1, okay? Episode 1. I'm going to get Sean on. Let's quickly discuss a little bit on his thoughts on episode 1. How you doing, Sean? Right?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. And I wasn't even planning on watching this. And somebody kept saying, "Oh, you got to watch it. You got to watch it." A couple of people said, "Watch it." Then all of a sudden, after work, I'm 3-4 episodes in. So I'm going to try to hold off on any spoilers. So...
What was your thought then on Shayne, the love triangle that we just saw in episode 1, where Shayne, Natalie, and Shaina were kind of getting to know each other and stuff?
Well, first, like, just to start where to piggyback off of where you were talking about, right? So first of all, amateur move. So just like what you said, in the sense of, he's somebody that probably, didn't have very many options, and now he's getting some options, so he doesn't know how to handle himself. Because first of all, it's the show is Love is Blind, right? So why would you assume who's going to be on the other side of the wall before you know, right? Until you hear their voice. So
Yeah.
why would you assume? Why? Right? So first off, that let me know right there, amateur move. Then he didn't even just go enough to say like, oh, hey, this is Shaina, right? No, he's saying names, you creating connections, talking all sexy. I couldn't wait to see you all day. Bro, she hasn't even said hello yet, and you're just unloading. So total amateur, total douchebag, so I just was watching it. But then when he switched, I'm like, is this dude bipolar? Like, is there some type of personality disorder? Because why would you messed up? You're the one who called her by another name, right? She barely said 2 words to you. You created a whole narrative in your head. So yeah, he's definitely not dealing with a full deck. So I'm just not sure how he got there. And if I was her, I wouldn't even given him a chance to leave the room. I'd be like, bro, when you're done with this tantrum, with this monologue you're having, maybe we will talk. But don't just, she's just sitting there curled up in a ball, upset and emotional. I'm like, don't even give him that much, energy. Like, that's what I thought was like, come on, bro. He was a complete mess. And I could just imagine an argument with him, because he's going to have the argument all by himself. He will argue with himself, argue with you, flip back and forth. That's chaos and toxicity waiting to happen. He needs to deal with, whether it's insecurity, whether it's how to handle conflicts. So he was all over the place.
Oh, I forgot they said that his father passed away recently, isn't it? So it wasn't that long ago his father passed away, I think. But yeah, I'm definitely hearing you, bro. I think I was watching it, and I was just like, I was looking at him, and I was like, bro, like, the switch was just mad. First of all, the tantrum at the end of running out the house was kind of mad. Rather than just handling it, I don't even think Shayna would have even budged. And what makes it even more? Do you know what it reminds me of? I remember when I was 18, and I'd never had a girlfriend. And there was a girl that I really, really liked. I've liked her for years, bro. Like 2-3 years I liked her. And I finally seemed to be getting a chance. And I think I was talking, like, before we got together, we were just talking or whatever. And I think we were supposed to do something that day or whatever, right? But I forgot. I was in school and everything. I was sixth form, and I forgot to whatever, and I had to go. I didn't stay behind school, basically, right? And I went home. And she must have messaged me saying, oh, I didn't see you, I didn't see you after school. You said you were going to stay with me and we're going to, do some homework together, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I did? I was stressing. I was like, oh my God, like, I've missed up my opportunity. Oh my gosh, she's not going to like me now. She's not going to want me again. Like, da-da-da-da-da. I was saying all the things. One, I've never had a girlfriend, and 2, this was probably the first girl that actually liked me the way I liked her, and I was just getting stressed about it, right? That is what Shayne did. It reminded me of that. Just throwing all your toys out there as if it's all over. And it's like, bro, it's not even all over. You have 2. You had 2, gal. If it's not, and the fact is, one of the girls is leaving because you said the other girl's name. And it made me think, did you really want Natalie in the end to actually marry her? Like, maybe not marry, but like, if you wanted to have a relationship, you saw it with Natalie, but you wanted to play with Shaina. So it's almost as if like you felt like you've lost your end goal in a sense. So you're throwing your toys out the pram, because I didn't understand that. I was like, you still have the other girl there, and she gonna be liking it, the fact that you called her name out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Sean?
I mean, I think because of the type of show this is, that could go 2 ways, right? Because then if he is more invested in her than she is in him, then she could be like, well, it's too much, too much too quick. So I think like definitely he doesn't have any emotional regulation. I think it's that. And I just think he doesn't know how to deal with, it's that part. I think a lot of people grapple with this, the apology part, or just like being in the moment when you make a mistake. And I guess maybe he's in his head because he's like, now this is on TV. I did this whole thing, and then just like you said, probably he played the whole thing in his mind. He thought he was going to see Shaina and it was Natalie, but he was like, oh, I'm about to see baby girl. So he got himself all hyped up, worked up. He was all in the moment. And then he just unleashed his, whole monologue, and then it was the wrong girl. So he's like, damn, I'm embarrassed. So I think it was more so his own embarrassment, but not being able to deal with the embarrassment. So he masked it with emotionality and an outburst, because really he probably just wanted to run and hide because he was embarrassed that he made such a major mistake. So I think that's kind of, he just seems super immature, not balanced, and he's a train wreck.
Definitely hear on that, bro. Definitely hear. What do you think about maybe Natalie as well? Natalie's reaction, because, like you said, she just curled up on the sofa, and of course we all react differently to stimuli such as this. But could that be an indication of maybe in future in terms of relationship how she may deal with conflict that may be highly emotional, maybe, or where her feelings are hurt? You know what I'm saying?
It definitely showed how much she liked him, because she was so hurt by what happened, and she didn't even have enough energy to react to what he said. She's got a little bit of firecracker in her from what we've seen so far. So I just thought her reaction was just kind of like, wow. It was very subdued from her personality, because she's usually hyped. So for her to like curl up in a ball like that, I think she really, really likes old dude. And I think that was a little too, she was giving him too much energy. Just the same way we talked about Ayanna and Jarrett. It's like, you can't, especially a process like this, you got to be guarded. You got to be, more conscious of what you give to the person. So I think was way too invested too soon with him. And for her to just curl up in a ball, I mean, I'm thinking, and maybe call me cold, but I'd be like, all right, cool. Another girl calls me another name. If she's not apologizing and she's flipping out, then I'm going to be like, all right, sweetie, when you cool down, maybe we'll talk, but I'll let you have your moment. We're not going to argue about it, but I'm definitely not going to storm off crying. I mean, not that he saw it, but she really wasn't saying much. So,
yeah, she definitely wasn't saying much at all. And I just kind of saw her, and I was like, babe, like, it's early, or at least I know it feels it. Well, I know it probably feels longer than that because they're speaking for hours on hours. But I was like, babe, pick up your bag and say, listen, appreciate it. I gotta go. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like, babe, you staying there, cut up, almost as if you're waiting for him to say something that will change your mind. Like, he ain't gonna say something. It just got worse and worse. She didn't even say anything. She didn't even say anything particularly difficult, and it was just getting worse and worse. And this was actually an answer to her prayer, right? You seeing this is an answer to your prayer. Now you've seen the darkness in him. You now know, I'm not really in this. I'm not. This is not for me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I man, it was, and I think also what happened as well for her is that, like I said, she became aware that Shaina, just before this, she became aware that Shaina was kind of, Shaina had a connection with her because, or at least Shaina, well, actually I can't say that. Shaina became aware of Natalie because Natalie had started speaking in the group. And so Shaina understood. One thing I saw was that when Natalie came in crying, Shaina was looking over like a meerkat with a smile on her face. Okay, there was a half smile on her face, like, "Oh girl, you got your heart broken? Oh damn." What's your thoughts on the connection with Shaina and Shayne?
Yeah, I think he's definitely more into her than she is into him. Because she's the typical, blonde, pretty girl. So she's not unaccustomed to getting guys, that are interested in her. I think she said early on she wants more deeper connections and not just for the surface. But so I think she was cool and collected. And just to your point, when it didn't go, she was like, "Oops, is everything all right?" So I think you got to be careful, especially in these environments, to show your cards. And she definitely showed her cards. That's Natalie. Showed her cards too soon. She's like, "No, I'm not okay," and then she ran off right to her bedroom. So I think, yeah, I think Shaina has options. So she's gonna want to explore those options. She's going to be the one that's a little more strategic about how they explore this process. So she's going to say, let me see who this one is. Let me explore this guy. because the I think she started talking to the other gentleman. I can't think of his name, but he's a construction worker. So they started a connection over there. So she's like, I'm not getting too invested in Shayne. I want to just kind of see how these things go. I want to sit back and see who's the best of what I have here.
Love that. And also I think it's gonna be interesting because obviously I don't know if the old boy does come back, but she has Shaina said about the fact her past ex, when she shared, that was a controlling person. If he starts showing those energies towards Shaina, she's gonna be at the door, blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't gonna want to stand for that. So old boy, if he does come back, he's gonna have to fix up if he's gonna try and do it with Shaina. And come with that kind of energy. What did you think? Oh yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say that I think he did, like, he flipped out that way with Natalie because he could.
Ooh.
And Shaina, although he doesn't know what she looks like, he knows the energy, which is why he was so excited to be in her presence. Right? So he knew that, he wouldn't have pulled that card. And I think sometimes, especially people like that, who are manipulative to flip the script on you like the way he did with Natalie, they know who to play those games with.
Good point.
And he knew Shaina wouldn't have tolerated that. If he walked in that room and called her Natalie and went on that whole tirade, she'd be like, all right, well, I'll tell Natalie to come in the room. I'll see you later. That's
Good
it.
point.
Like, she's not going to sweat him acting a fool like that, or let him see her sweat like that.
Good point. Good point. What was your thought? I know I didn't actually speak about this person, but what was your thoughts to? Let me see if I can get a picture of him, because it was an absolute train wreck with this guy. Abhishek.
What if he goes by Shakes or
Shakes?
Shakes.
Yeah, he had a date with Depti. Episode 1, he had a date with Depti. It didn't go well. Depti.
Both of them are a little toxic.
They both love white with blonde hair.
Yes. Yeah, both a little toxicity. So
he asked if she can carry her.
Yeah, no, especially when he said, "Oh, when I came to this country, I found snow and blondes." I'm like, bro.
Him and Trish, I don't believe them to be normal people. I believe them to be actors. It was just too blas. It was too much. You know what I mean? Every person, he's saying something. I mean, there are people like this. That's why I'm also being very careful, because there are people who are definitely like this, who don't know how to, don't know how to not say certain things. But him and Olga, I mean, him and Trish, I mean, they're just so vibrantly bad. I'm like, how do they slip through the net with such vibrant, bad personalities? I mean, such arrogance, I should even say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, they are reality TV. They're what make us watch, because they're the people that are going to be, unfiltered, beyond unfiltered, right? They're just going to say what they're going to say. They're going to have verbal diarrhea all day long. And then it's just, before you know it, they're talking themselves in and out of situations they don't really want to be in. So yeah, he definitely has an issue. And I think, for him to say that, up front, then he's trying to gauge what her size is, when that's not what this is all about. I want to pick you up and put you on my shoulders. And I think he's got this like dual personality, because what is he, a veterinarian or some form of doctor? I think he said veterinarian.
Yeah, veterinarian, you're right.
Yeah. And then he's a DJ. Bro, how do you have time to do both of those things? Like, like, then it's like two polar opposite things. So you are working from your left and right brain at the same time. That's, look, I'm not saying the brother can't have multiple streams of income, but it's a lot to be working from both sides, because, it's a lot. So he's got, doctors alone, they usually say they can have God complexes, right? And then you're out here on the DJ scene. You think you're getting all the ladies. You have all these options. Yes, it's giving narcissism. We try to avoid these blanket terms, but it's definitely looking that way.
And how is he coming on the show talking about he wants a certain preference when you're on a show that you don't get to see the preference?
Bro, why would you even ask a question like that? Come on. Listen, these people are married at first sight. Come on. They get on the show and then they have a full-blown meltdown. So it's just, I don't know. And that's another sign of imbalance, because if you want to be able to dictate what they weigh, what they look like, what they don't look like, don't go on Love is Blind, right? Go on The Bachelorette, bro.
It's not a show for you. Do you know what I mean? It's not a shame for you. Yeah, I definitely hear that. Definitely hear that. Talk a little bit about. Let me get to my notes. Sorry, I just literally closed the box. It was.
Okay. Dave Vickers, I know you just stepped in the room, but no spoilers. Kojo has only seen episode 1. No spoilers, please. I'm trying to hold my peace too.
Yeah, I know there's a lot that's happening. I know it's difficult. What was your thoughts then? I spoke a bit about Nick and old girl Danielle, but what was your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I mean, at the very early onset, it looked like a nice connection, right? She needed that nurturing, but then I think she started to tell on herself and just reveal too much of her. I get it. You're feeling vulnerable and you're feeling that connection, but you don't want to lay all your insecurities out on the table. And then they just both started like playing ping pong. They were playing ping pong with the trauma. Like, oh my God, I had this. And oh my God, I was chubby. And oh my God, I lost 70 pounds. So it was like, oh, you did that? Oh, me too. There's no balance. They're both like on the outskirts and not getting love. So of course you're not thinking clearly, because the minute you get somebody that seems like it's an inkling of a different than what you got, you're jumping on it, which is you commit too soon. And you don't get to vet the person to really see if it's a true connection, because you're so busy saying like, oh, they're just like me. There also needs to be balance in a relationship, because two people that are similar don't necessarily equal success in a relationship, because you're both doing things in the same way. Where's the balance in that? So I think like that's what I saw with them. And especially she was just like putting her heart. I mean, she just pretty much handed him her diary from 13 and said, here it is. Take every insecurity and just run with it. It's like, you got to be careful. You got to guard your heart to some extent. Like, we're not saying put up a wall, but you're really in front of a wall. You don't want to give somebody every little part of your childhood, just little pieces, right? Okay, I went through this, and I went through that, and let's ease back. And let's talk about what we like to do for fun, or what are your idea of a relationship. But yeah.
Love that. All right, final words, because obviously on this first episode, actually, I don't know if I should give that to you, because you that's a hard task to do. Do you know what I mean? Let me round it for you. That's a bit difficult to do. Sorry, I'm putting you in a difficult spot when I do that. Listen, I will catch up, but I'm gonna do it live every day. So we're gonna do it for an hour, the same time, 6 p.m. EST time, 6 p.m. CST time. We'll go at 12 o'clock each time, UK time as well. So I'll catch up by Friday, right? So we probably have to have a double day on one of the days to catch up, because there's 5 episodes. So yeah, probably on a Wednesday I'll double up. Yeah, so we'll double up on a Wednesday, and then we'll do a live. I'll do double live on Thursday. That's gonna be a lot of work, but we're here for it, man. Do you know what I mean? So that Thursday we'll do the Love and Blind and do Married at First Sight. So listen, guys, this week tune in every day. We're gonna be having a live. We're gonna be talking about the show. We're gonna talk about this show, Love is Blind. I would have caught up by the weekend, and then the next week we go again. Okay, so listen, we'd have all watched the show, but we're gonna do it episode. Take a little bit of time. Okay, I know you guys want to rush it, and this is why I hate Netflix, because they give you the whole thing, and then you know what I mean. Yeah. So listen, audience members, been a brilliant night. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, and we'll discuss more of Love is Blind. Okay, all right. Someone said just do 2 or 3 tomorrow. No.
Oh, we gotta wish all the ladies happy Valentine's Day.
Oh. Yes, listen, guys, ladies and gents, happy Valentine's Day. If you didn't have a Valentine, it's not a problem. Okay? Yours is coming, maybe next year, maybe the year after, maybe, who knows. But happy Valentine's Day. What are you saying, Sean?
Yeah, no, I said be your own Valentine. How about that? Self-love.
That's right. Hug your own pillow. All right. So I appreciate you guys tonight. We'll see you soon. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification uploads, and we'll discuss some more of the show coming very soon. Appreciate you guys.